In Ghana, Malcolm was seen as, quote, the symbol of the militant American black man. When Malcolm was asked about Elijah Muhammad in Ghana, he said, quote, our disagreement had been in terms of political direction and involvement, an extra-religious struggle for human rights, end quote. Malcolm stressed the need for mutual communication and support between Africans and Afro-Americans, whose struggles were interlocked. The Ghanaians told Malcolm that they felt the term Afro-American had greater meaning and dignity than Negro. Malcolm felt that Africa should unite against apartheid and that Africans should support American officials who don't help black Americans. The largest audience Malcolm spoke to in Africa was in Ghana. Malcolm writes, quote, I tried to impress upon them the true picture of the Afro-Americans' plight at the hands of the white man, end quote. Malcolm writes, quote, I came here to tell the truth, and if the truth condemns America, then she stands condemned, end quote. Then Malcolm was invited to speak to Parliament. He writes, quote, how can you, an American, condemn Portugal and South Africa while our black people in America are being bitten by dogs and beaten with clubs, end quote. He felt Africans had been misinformed about Afro-Americans. Then Malcolm was able to meet Kwame Nkrumah, which he considered his highest honor while he was in Ghana. They discussed the unity of Africa and peoples of African descent. They both agreed that Pan-Africanism was also the key to problems of those of African heritage. A lunch was held in Malcolm's honor by the Nigerian High Commissioner, who also agreed about the bonds between Africans and Afro-Americans. Malcolm met the wife of the late W.E.B. Du Bois, and he saw Cassius Clay as he left the hotel from Ghana. Malcolm flew from Monrovia, Liberia, to Dakar, Senegal, then to Morocco. He compared the Casbah in Morocco to Harlem as far as how crowded it was. Malcolm spent his 39th birthday, which is Tuesday, May 19, 1964, in Algiers. He speaks of the expression of hatred for America for supporting the oppressors of the Algerians. Malcolm came back to the United States on May 21st, 1964. He was met by 50 reporters and photographers. He writes, quote, I knew I was back in America again, hearing the subjective scapegoat-seeking questions of the white man, end quote. Malcolm told the reporters, quote, the American black man needed to quit thinking what the white man had taught him, which was that the black man had no alternative except to beg for his so-called civil rights, end quote. Malcolm said that the American black man had a strong, airtight case to take to the United Nations on a formal accusation of denial of human rights, and that he could use Angola and South Africa as precedents. The press changed subjects and asked about his letter from Mecca. Malcolm said that his Hajj to the holy city Mecca gave his Muslim mosques authentic affiliation. Malcolm knew that the black Africans looked upon the blacks in America as brothers. Regarding his statements about white people, he says, quote, in the past, yes, I have made sweeping indictments of all white people. I never will be guilty of that again, as I know now that some people are truly sincere, that some truly are capable of being brotherly toward a black man. The true Islam has shown me that a blanket indictment of all white people is wrong as when whites make blanket indictments against blacks, end quote. Malcolm felt that some whites wanted to fight racism that was destroying the country. He says, quote, now that I am back in America, my attitude here concerning the white people has to be governed by what my black brothers and I experience here and what we witness here in terms of brotherhood, end quote. Malcolm acknowledged the small minority of good whites, but said it was the collective 150 million whites dealing with 22 million blacks. Malcolm felt the non-white people of the world were sick of the condescending white man. Malcolm speaks of Africans in the diaspora and says, quote, you can imagine what can happen, what could certainly happen if all these African heritage people ever realize their blood bonds, if they ever realize they all have the same common goal. if they ever unite, end quote. Malcolm received congratulations on his statements from blacks, and the next day he was stopped on the street by a white man who asked, quote, do you mind shaking hands with a white man? Malcolm told him, quote, I don't mind shaking hands with human beings. Are you one? End quote. Make sure you share this video. Comment if you disagree with anything I disagree with. Visit malcolmxfoundation.org to make a donation. Thank you. I'll see y'all in chapter 19. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.